All right. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. Today is August 20th, 2025. That was Samhain, Samhain, Final Descent. The song it's actually probably my favorite Samhain song. Death in Its Arms. Samhain, so the Misfits started out in like late 70s, early 80s, and then when they split up, Danzig made his own band called Samhain. He did do a solo album, which had like 3 songs on it, just under Glenn Danzig. The album was called Who Killed Marilyn, because he's a conspiracy theorist. And then he made Samhain, which was his second band, and then his third band was just solo stuff, just under the name Danzig. Let's see. Intro. Not much been going on, just been working, doing the grind, as far as my personal life. But I had a conversation this morning, at 1 p.m., I literally woke up exactly at 1 p.m. and started making coffee, and I got the phone call, which I was expecting it. I didn't mind to just wake up because I work nights, So I've been talking to this podcast, Red Pill Paradigm. We're going to do a swap cast tomorrow. He's going to call, or I'm going to call around 1 p.m. I'm going to record it. Hopefully, I don't know if it'll come out tomorrow. It might come out the next day, so 2 days from now, because I'll have to edit it and put it out. Maybe even 2 or 3 days. It might take a minute. But as Swapcast, I'm going to send him the file. We're just going to kind of interview each other, talk just about conspiracies, He donated to my Buy Me a Coffee and a while back and donated like $5, and I was like, hell yeah. Speak of the devil, I gotta Buy Me a Coffee if you want to donate. It's in the link below. Every little bit helps, even if it's just $1, dude. Every little bit helps. But yeah, and I don't know why I was like, okay, I'll give you a shout out because you donated $5. It never crossed my mind, because I'm such a fool sometimes. I'm like, I could probably have an interview with this guy. Come on, Abe. So yeah, I set it up. We talked today, kind of did a little pre-interview game plan, what we're going to do. And so, hell, you might even be listening to this because you heard me from his channel, because he's going to put it out, I'm going to put it out. It'll be fun, dude. I don't get to do interviews a whole lot because I work a full-time job. I would love to do more interviews more often. It's just kind of hard with life, dude, working 40 hours and then running and gunning and running errands and shit on the side. And I would love to do this as a full-time job, But so that's about it as far as updates. Look forward to that coming out soon. So yesterday, like I said, man, I have kind of a method that I'm doing. So I did a couple episodes ago. The episode was titled something along the lines of People Are Goldfish. And we talked about people losing interest in the Epstein files. And I understand that there is some fatigue because people were going hard in the paint talking about these files. But I do not think that we should forget this, and I do not think this should be swept under the rug, and I'm going to continue to talk about it as long as there's something to talk about it. So what I've been trying to do is do like an Epstein episode, and in the next episode do something different, and then go back to Epstein. I'm just going to keep going back to Epstein, because we do not need to forget this. So there has been an update that I was notified about last night. I do have an Epstein playlist. Go check it out if you want to know what's going on. We talk about the most current stuff, but there's also older Epstein episodes and stuff on there too. Stuff you may not even know about. And by the way, I already got 2 episodes planned. We're going to get into, not today, but in the future, I have 2 episodes planned about Epstein's career as a teacher. And the guy who got him that career wrote a interesting sci-fi novel. And we're going to get into that. And he's the father of Bill Barr. Weird stuff. So, yesterday, shout outs to Sean Atwood. Go check him out. He's a pretty cool channel. He spent time in England in prison. He was like I think he was like a drug dealer or something, ecstasy. He was really big into the party scene, and he did like 5 or 10 years in like a English prison, a London dungeon. But he came out, kind of changed his life, straightened up, and he got into investigative journalism and podcasting, and he covers Epstein all the time, but I mean, he covers all sorts of conspiracy shit, like I've listened to him for years, and he's talked about satanic sex cults and women who were like in satanic sex cults and stuff like that. So he goes deep. So he broke the news to me yesterday. I was at work and I was closing up shop, and I seen the Epstein files are being released to Congress on Friday. I said, holy shit, are they actually gonna fucking do this shit? So you guys know me, man. I used to be like a Q-tard. Go check out my older episodes. You can find older episodes. I went about a year, I was a Q-tard, you know. We're gonna get these guys. The deep state's going down, you know. There's good guys in the military saving children and fighting for us. You know, I fell for it. And I put out episodes before about Klaus Schwab being investigated, and don't get excited. Do not get excited. But that doesn't mean we can't talk about it. It doesn't mean we can't hope for the best. You know, you do that voodoo that you do so well. Say a little prayer, cast a little spell. Hopefully it'll go in our direction. I didn't mean to rhyme right there, but that went perfect. So, Justice Department, to begin giving Congress files from Jeffrey Epstein investigation, Comer says. Washington AP, the Justice Department has agreed to provide to Congress documents from the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. A key House lawmaker said Monday in announcing a move that appears to avert, at least temporarily, a potential separation of powers clash. So, we had talked about this, and I'm pretty sure it was Congress. And forgive me, I took politics in high school, and look, I have done political episodes because a lot of people, there's a lot of black-pilled channels who are like, hey, you can't, all politics is bullshit, you know, two wings, same bird. I get that, you know, but I do believe, kind of like mainstream media, if you're not paying attention to the mainstream news, because they tell you what they're going to do. Kind of the same thing with politics. You have to, even if you hate politics, like politics really disgusts me, you know. I work with a coworker. I love him to death, but he's a young puppy, and he's super Republican and super conservative, and I just tell him, I'm like, homie, you're falling into a trap. It's two wings of the same bird. Everyone should aim to be moderate, right smack dab in the middle. Everyone should be open to ideas. Everyone should be open to change. But now he's like, he listens to like Ben Shapiro and he's super pro Israel. And I'm like, homie, you gotta chill. You're falling into a trap. We have to pay attention to politics because those are the chess pieces moving, you know, and you need to see who's doing what and what's doing who, and you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure it was Congress that we talked about it on an earlier Epstein episode, so go check out the playlist, but the Democrats wanted to release the files and the Republicans stopped it. And I just remember all these QAnon people and all these right-wing conservative conspiracy channels were all hush-hush about that. You know, because they never talk about when their team is doing something bad. And it's like, well, why are the Republicans stopping it? You would think they would want to release it, right? They're the good guys, right? No, everyone allegedly is on this list, man. Both sides are fucking disgusting. This is why I don't choose teams, man. The Justice Department has agreed to provide to Congress documents from the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation. Okay, we read that. The records are to be turned over starting Friday. So tomorrow I'm doing that interview with Red Pill Paradigm. The day after, tomorrow's Thursday, the day after, supposedly all these files are getting turned over to Congress. Now, my thoughts are, as Congress, every branch of our government, the United States government, is corrupt. So, like I said, don't get your hopes up, but there's nothing wrong with going, hopefully, we get to know something, what's going on. I'm just curious if the Trump administration, Justice Department has like DOJ, whatever, has like FBI, has taken all the Trump shit out, you know? Like, yeah, we'll release the files and we'll just redact everything Trump related. Because it is getting put out under his administration, you know? Not that it would have been any better under Joe Biden's, because he would have just redacted everything related to him. So Friday, it's going to the House Oversight Committee, which earlier this month issued a broad subpoena to the Justice Department about a criminal case that has long captivated public attention. Recently roiled the top rungs of President Donald Trump's administration, and has been a consistent magnet for conspiracy theories. There's that word, conspiracy theories. Because those are bad, remember? It's bad to question anything. Just go with the flow, you know? We're all in this together. Don't question anything. I love how they bring that up as like a bad thing, like conspiracy theory. And the sad thing is like back in the 90s, when I was like being raised in a conspiracy family, and even like early 2000s, like mid 2000s, man, we just called ourselves conspiracy theorists. We honestly, and I still have kept that word. The conspiracy community has been like, or red pill community, whatever you want to call it, they're like, you know what that word means, you know the FBI created that word and blah blah blah. Yeah, I know, but it's almost like how black people with the rap scene have taken the N-word and they just call each other it and they use it in rap music. They're like, fuck it. They keep calling us this bad word. Let's take power over that word, because words are spells. So honestly, I was like, I kind of got inspired by Tinfoil Hat. That's why I called my channel Conspiracy Corner Podcast. I'm like, yeah, I am a conspiracy theorist. Fuck it. I'm just going to call myself one. And I'm going to call it Conspiracy Theories in the Conspiracy Community. I'm taking power over the word. So yeah, there is a lot of conspiracy theorists, and I'm proud of it. There are many records in DOJ's custody, and it will take The department time to produce all the records and ensure the identification of the victims and any child sexual abuse material are redacted. That makes sense. I don't want to see that shit. The names of the victims, I understand that too, because these people were abused as children, and they have every right to live as normal of a life that they can live now, because I'm sure a lot of their lives are wrecked because of this. I can't imagine. I've went through weird shit, but these people have went through hell. Yeah, I understand that. We don't need to know the name of the victims. We just want to know who the perpetrators of the crime was. That's all we've wanted to know the entire time. Now, there are those weird people that I notice in comment sections who are like, release the tapes. I want to see the tapes. And I literally comment, I'm like, you want to see the tapes? That's fucking weird and creepy. First of all, that's cheese pizza. Why do you want to see that? We need to check out your hard drive. I don't want to see the tapes. They're like, well, they could blur them, and it's like, no, you're just being weird. I don't need to see the tapes. I just want to know. I would like a description of who on that tape did what to who. And you can use Jane Doe for the victims, but I just want to know the names of the actual perpetrators of the crime. I want to know Bill Gates did this, allegedly, to this, a baby. That way I can go, okay, hang the motherfucker. You know, that's what I want to know. So, Kentucky Representative James Comer, you guys know me, I live in Kentucky, so James Comer, I guess our dude, the Republican committee's chair, said in a statement, I appreciate the Trump's administration's commitment to transparency and efforts. Talk about bootlicking. What transparency are you talking about? Trump has been gaslighting us about Epstein for like a month now, you know, and efforts to provide the American people with the information about this matter. No, there's been no transparency. Stop bootlicking. A wealthy and well-connected financier, Epstein was found dead in his New York jail cell weeks after his 2019 arrest. In what investigators ruled a suicide, his former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, was convicted in 2021 of helping lure teenage girls to be sexually abused by Epstein, is now serving a 20-year prison sentence. The House committee's subpoena sought all documents and communications from the case files of Epstein and Maxwell. It also demanded records about communications between Democratic President Joe Biden's administration and the Justice Department regarding Epstein. So, of course, Trump would put that in there, which, by the way, I agree with. If Joe Biden was doing shady shit during his administration with the Justice Department regarding Epstein, I want to know it. But I also want to know if Trump was doing shady shit, too. As well as documents related to an earlier federal investigation into Epstein in Florida that resulted in a non-prosecution agreement. Interesting. So shit went down in Florida and there was a non-prosecution agreement during Biden's administration. It was not clear exactly which or how many documents might be produced or whether the cooperation with Congress reflected a broader change in posture since last month, when the FBI and Justice Department abruptly announced that they would not be releasing any additional records from the Epstein investigation after determining that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. And you guys got to remember, Trump ran on this shit. We're going to release the files. We're going to release the files. The files are going to be so great, you know. And then as soon as he gets in, what files? Are people still talking about Epstein? Yeah. There's a global I use the word whatever, flat, round, whatever you believe. There's a global child trafficking network, and you ran on releasing it, and now that you're in, you don't want to talk about it. He did the same thing with 9/11. Remember this shit? I mean, you're going to have to delve deep back in the cobwebs of your mind when he first ran against Hillary, but he did the same thing with 9/11. He said he was going to reinvestigate 9/11, Did that ever happen? No. The announcement put the Trump administration on the defensive, with officials since then scrambling both to tamp down angry questions from the president's base and also laboring to appear transparent. I've already said, man, he's going to ruin his base, and he already has, unless just give us the fucking documents. Hopefully it's all out in the open. I'm just worried that when they get these documents and when we get to see these documents, they're going to be all blacked out. They're going to be all redacted. There's going to be so much shit missing, they're going to be useless. That's what I'm worried about. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche interviewed Maxwell at a Florida courthouse over 2 days last month. Though no records from those conversations have been made public, I would love to see those records. And the Justice Department has also sought to unseal grand jury transcripts in the Epstein and Maxwell cases, though so far those requests have been denied. Nothing to see here. A Justice Department spokesperson declined to comment Monday. Of course. The House Oversight Panel separately issued subpoenas to 8 former law enforcement leaders, as well as former Democratic President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Go check out the last Epstein episode we did. We actually covered that Bill Clinton and Hillary got subpoenaed. We've been trying to keep up with this case. Bill Clinton was among a number of luminaries acquainted with Epstein before the criminal investigation against him in Florida became public 2 decades ago. Clinton has never been accused of wrongdoing by any women who say Epstein abused them. So, interesting stuff. Are we actually going to get these files? Are we going to get to see what's going on? So there is something, since we're on the Epstein story, I do want to talk about this, and this is interesting timing. It's a little bit older news, but I don't know, I'm hearing both sides of this, because I was listening to Tim Dillon, and go check him out, he's cool as fuck. I like Tim Dillon, he's funny, and he gets into conspiracy. I heard his point of it, someone's going to unalive themselves, Ghislaine Maxwell moved to women's prison in Texas. Minimum security, I believe. She went from maximum security to minimum security. Ghislaine Maxwell, the convicted associate of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, has been moved from a Florida prison, which, by the way, dude, say what you want about, what's his fucking name down there? Governor. I almost voted for him, but then he started getting a little too totalitarian. He was Republican. DeSantis. Jesus Christ, Abe, come on. DeSantis, man, say what you want about DeSantis, man, but he don't fuck around down there. Florida does not fuck around. Being someone from Florida, I'm kind of proud of that, but so she went from a maximum security prison in Florida. She's being moved to a minimum security facility in Texas. And this is confirmed. She's a sex offender. The move comes as Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking, has pressed the Supreme Court to overturn her conviction while also seeking a pardon from President Trump. Interesting. And I was just joking, dude. I didn't start a movement, because it was a joke from Tim Dillon, speak of the devil. He was wearing a Free Ghislaine shirt. And when all this shit was going on, that they were like, oh, there's no Epstein files. And I was like, oh, so Ghislaine Maxwell trafficked children to no one. And I'm being facetious. I said, we should free Ghislaine Maxwell then. I kid you not, people. They started putting on the news, hey, Ghislaine Maxwell's a victim too. We should get her a pardon and free her. I said, are you fucking kidding me? There's no fucking way. I was just joking. This is why I believe in magic and witchcraft, man. I was like, did I accidentally do a spell and create this reality where people are considering freeing Ghislaine Maxwell? And Donald Trump, when he was asked about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, literally said, well, I can do it if I want, you know. I don't think that's a good answer, Mr. President, you know. Just saying. Earlier in July, Maxwell held 2 meetings with the Deputy U.S. Attorney General, the details of which have not been made public. Maxwell has been at the center of controversy surrounding the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files, and the reasons for her transfer from the Florida prison are unclear. So, I've heard both sides, dude. She's getting moved from a maximum security prison, which you're treated like shit, to a minimum security prison, which they said is unusual for a sex offender. I don't know. I've never been to prison, knock on wood. I've been to jail 3 times, but that's not normal for a sex offender, especially this high profile. So either she's being rewarded by going to a safer minimum security, more chill, more freedom. She can go out to the yard more often. The inmates around her are not as crazy and evil. But that also makes me wonder, are they moving her to, like Tim Dillon said, are they moving her to a minimum security prison so they can off her, allegedly? So she'll mysteriously commit suicide, kind of like Epstein. Are they trying to off this bitch? Because maximum security is like top security, dude. These are the most dangerous of the dangerous. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. There's lockdowns every time someone comes in or leaves. You know, it's an all-day process to leave your cell and come back out, you know, for court and shit. And now she's going to a more chill security prison. Is she making deals with Trump to get more better treatment, if not a pardon, freedom? Or are they moving her to minimum security because there's less security and they want this bitch dead? And we'll get what we got with Epstein. You know, go check out the Epstein footage episode. A shit show, whitewashing of the whole thing. What do you guys think? Hit me up in the comments. But I found it interesting. They're moving her around. While speculation has been rife that Trump may pardon Maxwell, the White House has previously said no leniency is being given or discussed. The BBC has contacted the White House for comment on Maxwell's move to Texas. We can confirm that Ghislaine Maxwell is in custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons at the Federal Prison Camp FPC Bryan, Texas. The BOP said in a statement on Friday. Maxwell's attorney, David Oscar Marcus, confirmed the transfer but declined further comment. Of course. In a statement, the family of the late Virginia Giuffre, one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, expressed the horror and disgust as what they described as the preferential treatment given to Ghislaine Maxwell. Like I said, dude, a lot of people are seeing this as basically they're like, yeah, like what's the fucking word, Abe? Come on. Like they're doing something good for her, you know, like when your kid does something good for you and you do something nice for them. Reward. Jesus Christ, Abe. They're hitting me with electronic weapons today. A lot of people are seeing this as a reward. And we covered Virginia Giuffre. We did like 2 episodes on her. Or actually 3, I believe. Go check out the Epstein list. That whole story's insane. Her dad spoke out, like, calling bullshit on a lot of this stuff, man. Some would say he's a conspiracy theorist, you know. It's getting weird, this case. The plot thickens, man. So there you go, man. We're getting files released to Congress Friday, 2 days from now. And Ghislaine Maxwell has been moved from maximum security prison in Florida to a better, more chill minimum security in Texas. Is Maxwell gonna exit? And even then, that brings up the question: is she actually gonna be dead? I mean, I'm not estranged to the theory that Epstein might not even be dead. That this motherfucker might have just been swooped out, you know, and they put someone's dead body in there. I'm still open to that theory, that Epstein might not even be dead. But I'm a crazy person. Don't listen to me. No, please do. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Y'all have a beautiful day. Be good to each other.